in terms of showing up and the reasons you want to embody this with your money dates and create this experience for yourself and where you get to focus your energy on, it's ultimately up to you to be in charge of showing up for that. But think about how you want to do that. Do you want to give from a place of not feeling so great about it and giving to yourself, in those money dates, or receiving the opportunity to create the experience for yourself? So the example I was going to use around kind of this giving and receiving for how you get to experience money. When you are, let's say, on vacation and you see a band on the street who's playing awesome music and they're creating this entire experience as, the travelers pass by. They're excited. They're creating this momentum of excitement, and, people are tossing them money in maybe a guitar bin, right? And you feel excited to be in that environment with them. They're creating that excitement. Here's another one. When Oprah ramps up her audience to give something away for free and starts to, toss out gifts, toss out different opportunities, excites the crowd around her, everyone's excited, even if they don't get something, even if they're not receiving something. And the reason she is creating this momentum for everyone in the audience is the experience, the embodiment of that excitement and satisfaction, and just being in that energy is where she is focusing. And that engagement allows everyone to experience the environment in a new and powerful way. So take on your money dates with the same type of mentality of creating this amazing, beautiful, juicy experience with yourself where you can interact with money differently. Have it look different as often as possible because you're playing with it. You're playing with a new way of focusing your attention and your energy differently with money. And when you're sitting down to do the different tasks like budgeting, for example, and being objective in your assessments, recognizing that there is always likely going to be room for improvement. So why not enjoy the ride along the way, right? Maybe you didn't stick to your budget. Maybe you didn't save the full amount of money you wanted to save. Maybe you didn't invest as much as you wanted to invest. Maybe you didn't get the number of clients that you wanted in your business, or get the raise that you wanted. But the more we can assess this, so I want to speak into something here because some of you avoid the conversation. So that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. So stop avoiding, but start really identifying objectively and assessing where you're at with the money conversation. Because if it is no conversation, then okay, great. I'm not having an objective conversation with myself around my money, or I'm not regularly assessing my budget or my standards or my investments or my savings or whatever that thing might be. And that's where you simply get to go next. And how can you be in regular practice of this form of assessment, but enjoying that journey as you dig in deeper? So the 5 particular reasons why you want to do this in practicality is when you actually, and so I'm pulling these examples from my own life, some of the clients I've worked with, and just over the last 15 years of when I actually see the shift in someone once they finally clicks for them, when they get it, is a very interesting moment, but it's very powerful. It's like this new sense of ease comes about because they're now trusting themselves even more with where they get to go next with money. So the improving the budget no longer has this angst around it in riding the emotional roller coaster ride with money. Once you get that piece down, once you really start to want to be in control of the money that you let flow in and out, and you really embody what your budget is and where you want to be with that and stand true in that and authentic in that for yourself, it becomes a much easier ride. It allows you to even set boundaries in other areas because you've set boundaries with the money. This is what comes in, this is what flows out, this is where all of it goes. And once you've decided on that, you stick to it. So improving your budget is really about improving the emotional roller coaster ride with money. once you can dial that in, like, whew, you're off to the races at that point. When you can dial that into a point of now you have different places money is going and flowing, you're increasing your savings level. So on average, the clients I work with increase their savings level within 3 months by 12% on average. Because now that we're really being intentional and focused, we're seeing and identifying where money can be saved. We're seeing and identifying that that is a want, it's a desire to save more money, because they can see what's possible for the future when they do that. Because they're focusing their attention on how that can be possible versus, well, I always don't have money, I never have enough every single month, so how would I save 12%? There's a approach to really starting to look at where money goes, assessing it, being objective, not judging yourself, and going to that next level. That next level could be from 0% savings to 1% savings to 5% savings. In a 3-month period, my goal for everyone would be to get to that 10 to 12% additional savings above and beyond what you might already be doing. Because we're just moving pieces around, becoming more efficient, allowing more money in. That's the biggest one, allowing more money in. Where are you restricting yourself? Where are you limiting yourself from not allowing more money in? Probably a lot of places. I know I was. I didn't have 11 streams of income to begin with. I allowed that in. I created that. I allowed myself to see that as even being possible. And it never started with 11. It started with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then 7, then 9, right? The next practical thing that really is where you can go with this. So the improved budgeting, no longer being on the emotional roller coaster ride, that is pivotal. That's a foundational tool. Increasing your savings by that 10 to 12% in a 90-day window, because now you're really being objective with your assessments. The third reason is developing simply a new way to allow money in. So I alluded to this already, but in the programs that I'm helping women with, there are typically an increase of 30% of income flowing in because we've walked through these steps together. Right? And it doesn't happen overnight, it takes time, but the increases they're seeing in money flowing into their world are massive. 30%, think about giving yourself a 30% raise. Like, how would that feel? How would your life change? How would that be completely different? Because you're allowing more money in, because you are looking at opportunities that now you're actually seeing, because that's where your attention is going, that is where your focus is going. And now you're seeing the opportunities, but before, right now, maybe you're not seeing those opportunities because you're not allowing yourself to see those opportunities. You're not even asking for those opportunities to be in existence because you're so focused on getting rid of the debt or trying to budget and it doesn't work every single month, right? Your attention is elsewhere. Your attention is just keeping your head above water, and that's how you talk about it. I just got to keep my head above water. I just got to try to make all of this, figure it all out. Versus focusing your attention on where you get to go next and what the opportunities are right in front of you usually. The fourth reason here that I want you to get really in tune with the money dates and feeling that power, feeling that confidence is a lot of the women that I have started to really work with specifically over the last year are, and I think a lot of this has to do with our world environment, the pandemic, and just being in this contemplative state of recognizing that we aren't feeling fulfilled. And recognizing it, noticing it, naming that, and changing our jobs to be more aligned with our life purpose. So for some of you, that means quitting your job altogether, and now you've gone into a form of business or service or like freelancing types of work, so different things that make your life way easier. It feels more fulfilled. The practicality of incorporating money dates allows you to process some of that from a safety and security standpoint with money. So this is why I'm encouraging you, and I'm going to continue talking about money dates, is it allows you the time and space to really think about, what is possible with potentially changing my job so that I can be more aligned with what I truly desire in life. You are spending an enormous amount of time often with working And it could look a lot different if you spent some time with, what do I actually want this to feel like? What do I actually want to show up and do every single day? And can I make adjustments to my plan? And it doesn't have to be rip the Band-Aid off. That's my preferred method. But you can take your time and you can slow down that pace of, scheduling time with yourself every single month to look at the money situation, to look at your alignment with your life vision, your life purpose, but really the gifts that you are brought here to support others in. And recognizing that those gifts are truly where you could make even more money than you could ever imagine. I want to give you an example specifically here, because I was talking with someone who was considering renewing their contract with their current employer, so extending their contract. It was supposed to end in 3 months. They were going to extend it for another year so they could travel abroad and make twice as much money as they're making now. Okay, that's cool. Twice as much money is awesome. Or they also had an opportunity that they attracted, which was in what was, in my opinion, their actual life's work, their life's purpose, something they're really, really strongly gifted in, something that is so easy and effortless for them to show up in, something that they never complain about showing up for and doing for free even, because they love it that much. And they're weighing their options of, okay, double the money for more angst, for more stress, for, yes, traveling the world, and yes, an opportunity that enables them to maybe potentially save more money, or an opportunity where they're living, breathing, being in their gifts and talents every single day and serving others in their purpose. Now, while the initial pay was not as much over here in their gifts, it was only the initial pay, right? There was still opportunities to expand this role, this opportunity into more money, because they're taking on more clients. If they were actually showing up in that, there's an abundance of opportunities to create more income from that. But because it was unknown, because it wasn't a stated dollar amount that they could literally compare and contrast to, this opportunity didn't seem as good because the dollars and cents weren't attached to it. And so that's what I want us to reframe, is those opportunities. Are we looking at it from a pure logical apples to apples comparison of maybe this is $10 and this is $100? Or are we looking at the fact that that $10 can be exponentially multiplied because of the impact? Because now that $10 turns into $100, which turns into $1,000 because of the referrals, because of the people that are sharing the information, because of the impact that we're creating with our human capital, right? There's an element of human capital that I think we neglect and we forget about. So that's what's really powerful about showing up and changing your job opportunity, changing your work environment to be more aligned with playing with your life purpose. So I want to just encourage those of you who are kind of on that edge, if that's where you're at, come talk to me. I was on that edge multiple times throughout life, but also took the leap and then went back and took the leap, and I've experienced it. So I am happy to provide more context and suggestions and framework around how to weigh your options, because that is something, like, it's just such a pivotal time in our lives to be making those decisions and those changes, that we can really overwhelm ourselves with some of what we currently know, but the unknown is too scary, too insecure. It doesn't create the safety that we're desiring. The fifth and last one here is really about being in touch with what wealth building can look like for you. So specifically when it comes to your money dates, and starting to recognize that you're saving more, you're investing more, and as you start to create momentum in those spaces, starting to review those investments and looking for opportunities to save and invest more, but also be more efficient with those savings and investing. investments. So typically on average, I see when someone's showing up for the money dates, and if they're working with me, I identify for them how to save more when it comes to investing. But not just save more in terms of the dollars you're saving. I'm talking about keep more because your investments are efficient, and keep more because you're not paying as much in fees. So on average, we're saving about 1% in fees and a little bit more than $3,000 to $4,000 a year, depending on the portfolio size and investments and all that, so that can be reinvested. If we're saving more and more money on a regular basis, now that's compounding. I'm not going to go into the logistics of compounding, but when you're compounding and investing more and creating more, it goes back to momentum, right? If more dollars are continuing to be invested, then more dollars are continuing to earn on more dollars. Now your money is making money for you. That's what we want. That's what we all want, is money to make money for us. And then we can show up any way we wish, because we're now showing up in our gifts. We're not now showing up with an intention of impact. We're now showing up with the ability to cause and create a difference in the world around us. And I don't want you to compare what that difference looks like. It is just simply knowing and trusting that what you get to do is show up in your gifts. Why you get to do that gets to be a really big why. You want to change the health and wellness space. You want to help other women feel confident with their eating habits, with nutrition. You want to help other women eliminate the stress and overwhelm by taking on caring for their children because you run a daycare. Whatever that thing is, whatever you're showing up in your gifts, do that regularly, consistently, and really create the effort of joy, right? The putting forth of how can everything I do be from a place of joy and creation. And when we start to focus our attention in that capacity, we all show up so much more powerfully and impact everyone else that we come into contact with on a day-to-day basis. I know and can feel the difference when I'm showing up powerful and confident and consistent, and how people respond and react to me versus the days where I'm not feeling that exuberant or joyful in my life, and how I hide if that's not happening, right? There's definitely a distinct difference in conversations that occur, in less opportunities, in less feeling of that flow state. So I encourage you to really sit with what you want to get out of your money dates. Just really embody playing the money game, right? Have fun with it. Create an environment where it's exciting to show up with money and embody whatever that gets to look like for you and where you're at this point in life. So with that, let me know if there's any questions. I am so happy that we are here together and just having these conversations. Drop in the chat anything that you wish to cause and create, whether that's powerfulness, confidence, whatever it is that you want to embody. Share that with everyone here, and share that as often and early as possible, because that's where we get to go next in celebration with one another. So talk to you later. See you next week.